One of the most mysterious events in the world occurred over 60 years ago in the Ural Mountains of Russia. The adventurous journey of 9 friends left behind many question marks. Throughout history, numerous conspiracy theories have been put forward regarding the incident, known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, and even referred to by some as the Devil's Pass. However, all efforts to solve the mystery have remained unanswered. Due to the political climate of the time in 1959, the incident was covered up and not transparently shared with the public. Despite resurfacing in later years, no one has ever been able to unravel what happened to the 9 friends who ventured into the Ural Mountains. In early 1959, a group of young members of a mountaineering club, led by their friend Igor Dyatlov, decided to organize a trip to the Ural Mountains. The experienced climbers Yuri Doroshenko, Lyudmila Dubinina, Igor Dyatlov, Alexander Kolovatov, Zeneda Kolmogorova, Yuri Krivonishenko, Rustam Slobodin, Nikolay Thibobrinyol, Semyon Zolotaryev, and Yuri Yudin set out on January 27th, meticulously planning every step of their journey. These young people, aged in their 20s and 30s, were highly experienced in skiing and outdoor activities. Igor Dyatlov, the group's leader, assured their families, who were concerned about the trip, that they would send a message confirming their safe return from the sports club in the city by February 12th, indicating they were prepared for this 2-week journey. Setting out as a group of 10, they initially traveled by train to reach the starting point of their hike. At the end of this journey, Yuri Yudin fell ill and decided to return. With Yudin's departure, the rest of the team proceeded towards the starting point. Aside from the bone-chilling cold, another unsettling fact that sent shivers down the team's spines was the region they found themselves in. The Mansi, a local tribe of the area, had made the Russian mountains their home. Naturally, this community had their own language. Everywhere the team hiked, they encountered different Mansi signs, trying to interpret them as best they could. Constantly seeing Mansi signs all around them, the young people found themselves speaking about the Mansi frequently and feeling a sense of unease deep within. On the night of February 1st, 1959, the Russian youth reached the slopes of Kolet-Syakhl Mountain, meaning Dead Mountain. The local Mansi people had given this mountain the name Dead Mountain because of the many unexplained mysterious events that had occurred there in the past, with those who ventured there never returning. The young climbers had reached their final destination on the night of February 1st as they camped on Dead Mountain. The freezing cold and gloomy atmosphere began to take its toll on the young adventurers, leading to some tensions among them. Despite the -30-degree weather, the youths had set up their tents in a large pit on the slopes of Kolet-Syakhl Mountain, exposed to the winds from all directions, and then whatever happened that night. On that night, where their only goal was adventure, the 9 young individuals became the subject of a mystery that would remain unsolved for over 60 years as February 1st turned into February 2nd. According to Igor Dyatlov and his friends' plans, the expedition was supposed to conclude on February 12, 1959. However, days passed with no word from any of them. Initially, Those awaiting news from the group attributed the silence to weather-related delays. But when February 20th arrived with still no sign of them, families began to suspect that something was seriously wrong. At their request, search and rescue teams were deployed to find the missing students. After much effort, the rescue teams finally reached the campsite. There they found the tent, but the climbers were nowhere to be seen. Upon investigating the area around the tent, the teams discovered several footprints. Following these tracks, they were left in disbelief. It became apparent from the investigation around the tent that the climbers had torn it from the inside and fled into the darkness of the night, some running barefoot or in socks on the snow. The rescue teams realized they wouldn't find any of them alive, and they worked tirelessly to recover their lifeless bodies. Eventually, about 500 meters from the camp, they came across the first bodies. Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko were the first to be found. However, when they were discovered, they were completely naked with no clothes on their bodies. As the investigators pressed forward, they also found the bodies of Igor Dyatlov, Zina Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin. As the investigation deepened, the full extent of the tragedy began to unfold. Despite extensive efforts, the rescue teams were unable to locate the remaining young individuals. It wasn't until several months later, on May 4th, that the other bodies could be found. 9 young climbers' deaths left behind a decades-old mystery. All investigations conducted after the incident, including the examination of the climbers' cameras and the fact that they fled from the tent without even taking their boots, indicated a sudden escape. But why did the youths suddenly rush out of the tent? What were they fleeing from exactly? Post-mortem examinations reveal that the cause of death for the climbers was hypothermia. According to the most scientific theory, the climbers were affected by the cold of the night and succumbed to it one by one. However, this explanation did not satisfy anyone. Skull fractures were found in Slobodin and Thibobrignol. Dubinina and Zolotaryev had broken ribs. The most chilling discovery was Dubinina's tongue being severed, and her eyes were gouged out. Subsequent investigations found traces of radiation on all the bodies, despite 63 years passing since the incident. The Dyatlov Pass case has been the subject of numerous documentaries, books, and films over the years. While everyone can choose a conspiracy theory that aligns with their beliefs and provides a seemingly logical explanation for the deaths of the 9 young individuals, unfortunately, the truth remains elusive. Despite periodic openings of the Dyatlov Pass file by researchers from around the world, all efforts thus far have yielded no conclusive results.